You're listening to Union Strong NJSPBA Voices Podcast. The intro is brought to you by the New Jersey State PBA-owned Federal Credit Union, offering competitive rates and fast loan approval. Visit www.njspbafcu.org. Hello and welcome to episode 41 of Union Strong NJSPBA Voices Podcast. I'm your host, Vinny Rizzo, and today we sit and talk to Don Nicoletti, retired police sergeant and the founder of the Santa Response Team Toy Drive. Now I know the calendar says summer, and most of us are thinking sunscreen, sandals, and smoke rising from backyard grills. But today's episode is all about flipping the script and turning up the holiday spirit. And here's the best part. It just so happens that this episode drops on July 25th, which means we are officially 6 months away from Christmas Day. There's no better time to talk about giving, joy, and community. While most people think of Santa Claus and toy drives as something we save for December, there's a team in Bergen County that doesn't wait for snowflakes or sleigh bells to bring joy to children in need. I'm talking about the Santa Response Team, a dedicated group that proves the spirit of giving doesn't belong to just one season. Each year, the Santa Response Team organizes an incredible toy drive and outreach effort to help sick children and families who are going through some of the toughest times imaginable. Whether it's a child battling a serious illness in the hospital or a family facing financial hardship, the Santa Response Team shows up, not just with toys, but with hope, compassion, and a reminder that they are not alone. Christmas in July is more than just a clever twist. It's a powerful reminder that the magic of the holidays doesn't have to wait. Smiles can be delivered in the middle of summer. Comfort can arrive long before the winter chill. And joy. Well, joy is always in the season. What's most inspiring is how this initiative brings law enforcement, local volunteers, businesses, and community members together. It's a united front of kindness, a mission to spread light during dark times. And it all starts with a simple act: donating a toy, lending a hand, or just showing up with a heart full of holiday spirit. So if you're listening right now and wondering how you can help, visit the Santa Response Team's social media pages or contact your local police department in Bergen County. There will also be contact information in the show notes. They collect toys, raise funds, and look for volunteers to keep this incredible mission going. Let's not wait for December to care. Let's make Christmas in July count. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the date on the calendar. It's about the difference we can make. Thanks for listening, and from all of us here, may your summer be bright, your heart be full, and may we all find a little Christmas magic, no matter the month. We hope you enjoy the episode. So Don, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to start the toy drive?
Oh, absolutely. Well, right out of the gate, I want to know I'm a Christian, a strong spiritual faith, which is like really my foundation for everything that I do in life in general, work, play. I give all glory to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I know people right off the bat are like, oh God, what do we have here? We usually hear that from athletes or, after a successful game or an event. But it's important to acknowledge that there's a lot of Christians, a lot of people with strong beliefs out there that do their job or do an activity. And when it is successful, I truly believe it's all because of the Lord. He's the reason why this event has come about, has grown the way it is, and it goes to the SRT. It does not go back to any one individual. That's why it's successful. So getting that out of the way, and I don't mean that in a negative way, I put in 25 years as a police officer. I retired as a sergeant with the Coastal PD, went right into school security, and I have been doing that up until this date. And running this drive is part of my off-hour activity.
Okay. Hey, and there's nothing negative about what you just said. What's the saying? He's the reason for the season, right? So, was there a specific moment or experience that motivated you to take action and organize this event when you started way back when?
Again, I've always had that urge ever since I was small. I personally grew up as a family on a lower income side. Grew up in apartments, didn't have much at all. And I remember my mom, my parents sometimes collecting gifts and toys around the holiday and giving it to a family that was a little worse off than we were, So that always stayed in my head. And I went to Catholic school, and we had this Sister Rose who was phenomenal. She used to try to keep us off the streets and organize the CYO. And I never really wanted to go. I always just wanted to run and hang out on the streets and play and get in a little mischief. But, we went because she was just a special person and we wanted to make her feel good. And she used to take us out on excursions and do drives and whatnot. So I always had that from the foundation from when I was young all the way until I got older.
Very nice. Yeah, I've noticed a lot over the span of my life that sometimes the most generous people that we come across are the people that come from the least, or, that maybe are the quote unquote worst off. So there's something about people have good hearts in those situations that do look to give back the most. So that was definitely a nice answer right there. So about the toy drive, how did this toy drive begin and how has it evolved over the years?
It started in 1988, and people are going to go, Madone, wow, I wasn't even born then. And that's true. The men and women who are involved in it weren't even born when it started. I got hired in Closter, and I just thought, what can I do to give back to the community? I think that's very important to give back. Listen, we protect and serve, and I think it's in all our hearts. It's a special person who chooses that profession. So I just definitely wanted to do something. I came up with the idea of this drive. So we did a single department just to see how it was. I had a small red pickup truck.
Okay.
And we got a couple of guys involved in the department. I came up with the idea, and we put a couple of boxes out and flyers, and we thought we were the cat's meow, man, with this, like, wow, I got a couple of bags here, and we got together, and I picked Tomorrow's Children as the main first place to donate these toys. These are kids with life-threatening diseases, cancers, and whatnot. That was always our first, and always throughout the year has always been on a receiving end. So we decided to give to Tomorrow's Children. I remember, getting the truck, collecting the boxes and getting ready to go down there. And I'm like, hey, let me run and get some bagels and stuff for the guys. Ran across the street, got a dozen bagels, a couple of coffee. And that was the first toy drive. And it went well. I loved the feeling of it. I brought it to the PBA. And we got our PBA involved. So every town that was involved in the PBA did the same thing, put out boxes, flyers, whatnot, collected toys. We gave to Tomorrow's Children, and then what other organization we had on the flyer for that year. That snowballed. Basically, that's what it did. It started to snowball, and we just went out to more PDs, more PBAs. We tried to recruit because we knew what this thing could be and how many more people we could reach out by getting more involved.
It's actually funny being involved in this for all my time since I've been an officer up in Bergen County to hear where it started in 1988 to know where it is now, where you just had a bag of bagels basically. And I know we're going to get into that moving forward with future questions. So we'll tease that for right now. But why do you think this has grown to the level it has today?
Oh, I mean, listen, again, all glory to God. He blessed the right people in the right positions with this. And I can't say enough about the men and women. The guys make fun sometimes because I quote this, we're as strong as each link. And the men and women in law enforcement who are a part of this has made it happen. But right off the bat, as this thing started to grow, I was blessed to have Lieutenant Vincent Cerubi be a part of this. He's I call him my consigliere. He helps out tremendously. I mean, without Vinny, it wouldn't have gotten to the point it is. And I'm not just giving all to Vinny. There's a lot of people. And this is where, sometimes you got to be careful because if you put too much emphasis on one person, one department, it becomes almost like a cancer where people feel, hey, he's getting credit and I'm working hard. This thing is definitely a team effort. The top of the echelon, having Vinny and numerous other people, has been able to make it grow and handle a lot of the positives and negatives that come with this. I call my consigliere because we try to make it fun, throughout the years. This has grown. We do themes. And the one year we did a mob thing where Vinny was the consigliere. We had capos, lieutenants. We had soldiers just running around collecting the boxes. We have sweatshirts made up. That's another thing that we do. where guys get excited every year. So one year we did a theme of like mob style sweatshirts. Some towns might do hats or their own sweatshirts or whatever. But it's become successful because it's been the hard work, but we've been making it fun. It's a party atmosphere. We have a lot of people involved that would basically be doing their own drive. And this is the beauty part about it. It's like we network. It's like run like a corporation. You could have your own toy drive and be a part of ours, and it'll still be your drive. It'll be Vinny's drive. It'll be whatever town's drive, but you're a part of the SRT, Santa's response team, where, hey, I have a family that needs an iPad. Do you know who? Hey, I could get you one. Or can you get me a TV? Can you get me this, that? So we network, we go back and forth. But yet the beauty part is when you join the SRT, which makes it unique, that you're doing your own drive, part of a corporation. You're having some of your recipients come to our location to pick up the toys. If you choose to deliver them in your town, you still can, but they come out. And if the weather permits, you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a real good time.
So basically what you're saying is that when you join the SRT, you make that donation as a single town, a multi-town local, you could basically run this thing however you want. But at the end of the day, at that middle of December, you're bringing everything to Closter and adding to that growing pile of toys in those first responder bays, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you're part of the SRT. I mean, you're doing your own drive and your own families, and you're able to now more so because we have more people involved, whereas opposed to a lot of times I used to hear that certain towns had trouble financially and they would be limited on what they could give the family or the kids. What we have grown into is it's mind-boggling. It is to the point where we do wish lists, high-end wish lists that are incredible. We do furniture.
Oh, wow.
We do washer, dryers, we do bedroom sets, household items, clothes, anything. It goes beyond toys. The toys are initially the main attraction for the kids, but we've come across such needy families that we're able to help out in that realm.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times when people hear toy drive, they think the baby doll, they think of the little game for a young boy. They don't think about the adolescence where maybe gift cards would be great. Or like you said, some piece of electronics or furniture, like you said. I didn't even think that that would be a possibility, but that's great to hear that you're so far expanded into your gives that you're hitting things like that.
Well, Vinny, it's funny, real quick. There was a contractor, Alpha J Construction in Closter, and he wanted to get involved. Great guy, great supporter. And he goes, Don, if you know anybody, I want to help. So again, networking. We had a family in Lodi, which was down and out. They wanted toys for the kids. So we were able, through a third party, speak to the dad. And the dad goes, listen, can you do me a big favor? We need a washer and dryer. He goes, instead of putting money to toys and everything that the kids are going to break or whatever, because his older kids were walking down to have the laundry done. So it clicked in my head. This guy, Jay, I brought the story to him and I said, look, we're looking for a washer dryer. He goes, consider it done. So he bought them a washer and dryer. We did that. We did toys. So all around, it was a nice Christmas for that individual family. So, it's an example. One year we had bedroom sets and 3 different families had kids sleeping on the floor. You picture yourself like individually, like what we have and what others don't. Sure. And you think that here we're just talking gifts. So I'm like, let's get them beds. And we reached out and there was one particular, I have to mention her name, Jen Lynn McLeavin from Harrington Park. And she heard the story, and unbeknownst to us, she paid for the bedroom sets for these 2 twin girls. And I say that the Lord has blessed people into this team, that it was in her heart to do this. And she wanted to take care of this family, and she bought them a bedroom set. And then, of course, by doing that, we also got them gifts and just made it another special story for Christmas,
That's absolutely great stuff right there. How do you decide which families or children receive toys or receive gifts?
We really don't say no to any family that's in need, so long as they're vetted. And this is very important. I go personally, like if you told me, hey, Don, I got this family, down and out. You're vouching for them. We take care of the family. Get me a wish list. We got to a point where I could say, get me a wish list. And they're like, what do you mean? Well, let's go high end. What do they need? What do the kids want? Apple Watches? Do they want a TV, a computer? What? And that's what we do. We make it happen. We have little soldiers out there that will take it upon themselves to find the items, or we have someone representing that family to go out shopping, and then they bring us the receipt and we write them a check that day. So the agencies itself, we verify it's homework. It's a lot of work at this point because we're grown. We have to make sure that the right agencies, families come up that day because we want the toys to get in the right hands. And we have had problems where people just show up that day because they found out. And we got to be careful because we don't want these things, in the wrong hands, people trying to sell them. And we have had problems.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that when you run an event like this, that there are, we'll call them those scammers and stuff. It's a shame because you would think that everyone has good hearts to, truly be in need. But again, that's why you have the vetting process. And I know you guys do a great job with that.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Can you share a memorable story from a past toy drive that has stayed with you?
We're going on 37 years. There's many, but a couple that I do remember 20 something years ago. I had a baby and we were on the floor, and you go into these rooms with gifts and toys, and we have Santa, and we ask the family if we could drop off the gifts, how they want them, and they usually will let us know what they'll either take it or go into the room. And you're going into rooms sometimes that this is the last Christmas that these families are going to have with their children. I remember a 6-year-old hearing her, like she was so elated, so happy about getting the gifts, and the mom was happy, and we felt like, wow, yeah, high fives, like almost like, not that we did that, but that's how you felt. You felt good. She comes out and she goes, thank you, thank you. My daughter's not going to make it till Christmas.
Ugh.
I was like getting hit then like with a sledgehammer. It's like, there wasn't a dry eye.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's crushing. And it goes on and on with stories like that. We had another family, I read in the paper, this gentleman who was selling everything because his baby had brain cancer. So we reached out to him and we wanted to get some of his stuff back. He sold his wedding ring, and we wound up getting a lot of the furniture back, a microwave, TVs, helping him out, toys and whatnot. He actually stayed on the receiving end for a couple of years. And I'm happy to say that although his daughter has a lot of difficulty today, she's still with us. God bless her.
Thank God for that.
There's just numerous stories that I could tell you. There's a lot of fun ones also that would make you laugh. And we were blessed. At this point, I try to get celebrities out that day. And we were blessed to have Dominic Chinisi come out from The Sopranos, Uncle Junior.
Yep.
And it was great. It really was. To me, it's so difficult to get celebs out, especially this Bergen County is like the Middle East with oil, with celebrities. They're all around.
Sure.
But unless you have some sort of hook, no one's coming. The guys laugh again that I chase down these actors and waste so much time. And I do. But I want that day to be fun. So we got Dominic Chinisi to come out. He okay, how long do you want me there? I said, listen, Mr. Chinisi, you got to call me Dominic. So I'm like, this guy, God bless him. He says, I'll come out for as long as you want. He stayed all day. He went to the hospital. He grabbed up my arm towards the end of the hospital and started tearing up because I got to get out of here, kid. But he was able to enjoy the day with us from the get-go to the last moment. But we were on the party bus with him, and he would share stories, about the whole cast and how it came to be. And he played into character.
Very cool.
He was playing Uncle Junior on the bus, and one of the guys got up to move and by mistake kicked him in the leg. And he just grabbed his neck and was like moaning, like, oh, and we're like, Uncle Junior, all right? And we said, stop the bus. We grabbed the guy to throw him out.
Oh, man, that's great.
But yeah, little stuff like that. We had a lot of fun with different celebrities throughout the years.
Did Dominic sing it all by any chance? Because I know he's a singer.
Yes, he did. He actually did.
Very cool.
He did. He's a man blessed with many talents.
Very cool. Moving into the logistics and challenges of running an event like this or organizing an event like this, what goes into organizing a countywide toy drive?
I started in August, believe it or not, at this point.
Okay.
With numerous phone calls, text messages, You got to reach out to the food vendors. Again, I can't thank them enough for them to come out. They also make it successful because, hey, listen, feed them and they will come. So,
That's for
I
sure.
have Rosie's Empanada, Chef Bob, Chef Crone from Sanzeri. I have hot dogs from Sabret's. We have Ed Hill from Merck come out and make cheesesteak sandwiches. I have a DJ come and play music. So to organize this, I got to give them a date. They got to check their calendar. They got to make arrangements. I make a contact to all the agencies, and now it's grown so much. Like we did over 45 agencies this year, to give them the date so they can arrange transportation, trucks, help that day from their agencies. We set up different things as far as like the T-shirt committee. We give out T-shirts to whoever come out and help. So we got to give in advance because everything has to be ordered and things on time. And just a lot of phone calls, text messages by Vinny and myself.
So unlike in 1988, you can't just go grab 24 bagels and some cream cheese and butter and head over to Closter, right?
No. And thank the Lord that I'm not able to do that anymore because the people that are receiving it's just incredible. And so I'm glad we're at that point. But it is, again, aggravating because they might not make it and then I got to find fill-ins.
Sure. Okay, so segueing into that, what challenges have you faced along the way and how did you overcome them?
There's always challenges. And the bigger you get, the more challenges, such as right off the bat, you want to have enough toys, right? It's like that's my biggest worry because, we don't say no. And the guys laugh when we forward the agency or family that will be coming out. They're like, okay, we're hitting a limit here. Like we're all thinking like, what's going to happen here, And it's funny because I always think a passage in a good book, and I think it's Mark 6:34, where Jesus is talking to the thousands, right? And he just has a couple of fish and bread, but they multiply. For some reason, that day, it's incredible, Vinny. I'm sure you've seen it. You see
for sure.
the toys, and I'm like, where do these toys come from? And all these agencies just come in that day like crazy, and it just mounts up. So the biggest one is having enough. And this year we kind of almost, we almost ran out to the point, but we hit everybody on that list. And generously, because I tell them, look, if you don't mind coming for a couple of bags of toys, we'll take care of it. If you're happy with that.
Hey, as the saying goes, heavy is the crown, right?
Yeah, but also, just to let you know, that's my biggest, but we fight weather. I play in the state in August. There's no rain day, The weather's crummy, storms, it becomes not a fun event. It becomes a work event.
Yep.
And which is blessed. That's why I think every year it's successful, so long as the gifts get to the kids. And that every year has happened. People like this past year, hey, it was successful. Everybody had fun. These men and women come out in the rain, in the storm, with their rain gear. They know that there's probably not going to be any food vendors, which these food vendors are incredible. They make a way of feeding us, and certain ones come out anyway, and we get the job done. We had COVID that one year, where the state told me I couldn't have more than, I think it was 20 people at the event. And I'm like, I can't run the event with 20 people at this point. And they realized that it was a necessity because these agencies, public, private, all these agencies need these items for the kids. So they allowed me, we came up with something, we did 25 on each side of the building. 25 in the front, 25 on the side. So we were able to do that a lot. And remember, they were there doing that allotment, and we made it work. We just made it work. We rotated, And again, getting back to celebrities, that's my biggest headache. I want at this point to get a celebrity, and it's always tough to do.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Where there's a will, there's a way. And it seems like you've gotten the proper equation down 37 years in, right?
Yeah.
Are you able to quantify how many children and families you've been able to help so far?
People ask that all the time, and you just really can't put a number because thousands throughout, you're talking 37 years, and it's like the military comes out, and in the very beginning, I think this year we did well over 600 military families. These agencies have hundreds of kids, some of them. And yeah, I can't put a number on it, but it's hard. It's
Yeah, I
high.
know it's high. I mean, like you said a little while ago, in the best kind of way. I remember the first time I walked into this event, it looked like driving down the New Jersey Turnpike, the old dumps on the side of the highway,
Yeah.
piled that high, but with brand new unwrapped toys. I mean, it's absolutely mind blowing, and it's a testament to you and your group for sure.
Well, we put it into the video so people could actually see. We had this video that's what I used to help recruit. Like even celebrities, if someone you said, "Hey, look, this guy's looking to get involved," I said, "Look, send them the video, let them see what it's about, and we'd love to have them a part of it." But the video shows the toys being loaded up with the different agencies and whatnot.
Sure. And obviously, our community, our law enforcement community, we are a tight knit group. How has the outside community responded to the toy drive? Outside of our law enforcement community, how
Sure,
have the civilians responded to this?
very positive, very positive. Look, it doesn't matter your religious affiliation or your status economically. People are poor and get sick,
Sure.
so they're in need. So we have groups. We just don't do it for Christmas. We do it for any holiday that anybody celebrates. We try to get toys to families that are in need financially, that they want to stockpile maybe for birthday gifts. So we try to take advantage of the time by taking and collecting as much as we can and getting it out there. So I think people realize that more outside the realm of Christmas get involved, which is nice. So that's something positive that we like to see. And as far as involvement, my hat goes off to our fire department, our ambulance corps, our DPW. They have helped out every year, and by setting up, cleaning up, loading up, allowing us to use their facility, we bring others in to make the magic happen. There's so many different hands involved in this, and I'm glad you asked that outside the realm of law enforcement.
Sure. Looking ahead, what are your goals for the toy drive in the coming years?
Well, naturally, bigger and better.
You said 45 agencies, right? So you have another almost 30 in Bergen alone that you could recruit, right?
Well, 45 on the receiving end.
Oh, okay.
We have around 55 police agencies involved. And here's the thing, it's not Bergen County. It hasn't been just Bergen County in quite some time. We went over the border with Clarkstown and Orangetown.
Very nice. I wasn't aware of that. Very cool.
Yeah, outside even some of the other departments outside Bergen County. Yeah, it's grown. It's northeast. We have New York City Sheriff's Department. They came out and they were apart, but now they seem to get on the receiving end due to they're hit hard over in the city with the programs they have. I just want to let that be known. We're growing. And I want to grow in the sense that we sent a truckload down to North Carolina this year. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I wasn't. That's great.
One of the cops called, and one of the retired guys who went to the academy, Mark Richards, Bergenfield, apparently said, "Hey, look, we sent clothes down earlier during the summer." He goes, "We'd love to send toys. You think we could work something out?" I said, "Mark, absolutely." I said, "I'm saying yes, thinking that they want to send a truckload down." And I'm like, knowing what we have to do, I'm like, "Well, let's just make it happen." And so I said, "You handle that end, I'll handle the toys." A week out, I get a call that they had a problem with the truck and truck driver kind of backed out. I'm like, oh God. I said, challenges. We're a week out. I got enough going on, Vinny and I, handling all this other stuff. Now to find a truck. So that this patrolman from Hillsdale, Dave Sawyer, a great guy, says, "Hey, Don, listen, I don't mean to put it on you. Let me work things out." I said, "Look, you're part of the SRT. It's us. It's a team. We'll try to figure something out." So 2 hours afterwards, we made numerous phone calls and we found a truck and Dave offered to drive down. So we drove down a truckload. He went nonstop down to North Carolina and they were so happy. I talked to a sheriff officer down there and I was kidding with him. I said, "Listen," he was so happy telling us stories. He said, "Maybe we'll start a chapter down there of the SRT." He goes, "Absolutely." So as much as bigger and better, I want more involved in this. And I look at it, the more we grow, of course, the more stress and aggravation that we're going to have, but in end all, the more families we're going to be able to help out. And that's what it's all about.
Well, speaking about that growing, you looking to grow, obviously, this podcast, you being on this podcast, we have a wide reach. So, to everyone listening, whether they're in our law enforcement community or just supporters, how can they get involved or contribute to this year's toy drive?
Right off the bat, I would love them to join us. If they want to join us, great. They could be a part of the SRT and still do their own drive. But if they just want to help support in any way, we're looking, again, if you have any contacts, like with celebrities, that would be big, because usually people at that day, even though it's work, I want it fun where they walk around and meet someone, photo ops, and it breaks up the day. And it's just a fun event. But that's one of my problems, getting someone that I could depend on to show up.
Sure, definitely.
In the past, it's just been hit and miss, and I was lucky telling you about Dominic Chinisi. We had numerous in the past. So if they know any celebrities, that would be great. If they want to make monetary donations, that's great. If they know anybody, food vendors, I'm always looking for a Zeppeli guy. I have yet to get a guy who makes Zeppeli to stay on with us, because it's a quick thing on a very cold day. And contacting us, they could reach out to Vinny or myself, Lieutenant Vincent Cerubi. His email is vcerubi@closetopolice.org, or they could reach out to me, Nico 599@verizon.net, if you want to get involved in any way. Love to have you aboard.
I'll make sure I drop those contacts in the show notes. So if people can't write it down or anything, it'll be right there for them to copy and paste into email form. So I'll make sure I definitely get that done. So we're kind of coming to the end. So I just wanted to ask you personally, some personal reflection right now. What have you learned about yourself through this experience from 1988 till today?
No matter what the obstacle is, again, I'm going to get into, this is my background, man. It's just Proverbs 22:19. Trust in the Lord. It's like you say to yourself, and we didn't get into it, but there has been aggravation with this drive throughout the years. And sometimes I said, Lord, what's going on here? We're trying to do a good thing. Why this obstacle? And it's just, you just go through it. You keep the faith, and you're strong enough to do it. You find yourself that inner strength that comes through, and the Lord's been there for me, and He's shown me that no matter what the challenge is, we're going to do it.
God bless. That's a great answer. So how do you stay motivated to continue this year after year?
That's easy, man. But to make the magic happen, we try to create that special moment. Not all of us had. As a kid, and I'm only doing the Christmas thing because that's what this basically is that when you ran down the tree, that special gift, man, it was just blew your mind away when you got it, right? Everybody might have that, and a lot don't. That's what the SRT was looking to create, to make that magic moment. So the excitement, it feeds into you, knowing that the end all is you're going to make a difference. Look, you're not going to take away, but you're going to alleviate maybe a heartache for a little bit. When a child or family's life dealing with what they are, take their mind off it,
Yeah, recreating the magic of the season. Having a couple of little kids myself, you definitely feel that each Christmas season. The magic comes back for a little bit. And like you said, no matter the heartache or what you have going on in your life, to be able to recreate it is something special. And you guys definitely do it. What advice would you give to someone looking to start a similar initiative? Think about 1988 Don.
Sure. I mean, right off the bat, man, it has to be in your heart. Anything that isn't, and you're just doing, it's not going to be successful. So, but if someone's thinking of it, naturally, you like to believe it's in their heart. So make it happen. Go with it. It doesn't matter how big it is. Let it roll on its own. When you put your heart and you have the right people around you, it's going to be successful. Just to make a difference, just to do something, because listen, we're all accountable for our actions. So just make it happen. Go with it.
Hey, if you have good intentions and you buy or have one toy donated and you bring that to a kid and the smile's on that kid's face, you did damn good, right?
Amen.
So, in closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners about the toy drive or its impact?
I have to give these shout outs. That John Parati from Fairview, man, he goes crazy with the donations. I mean, incredible amount of money that will come in, and we're able to make these wish lists happen. And that's in his heart to go around and do it. He told me a funny story where a guy he knew, a friend of his, got involved in an accident and was being put on a gurney, and he, with a neck brace, he leaned over and said, I could count you in still to help out for the drive this year, correct? And I told him, I said, John, that's Southern Bergen County ways of collecting, and we're laughing, but, his heart's in it, man. The iPads that we give to the hospitals have come from his direction, as well as other departments, but he goes out bulk, like 30, 40 50 iPads. We reached out to St. Joseph's Children's Hospital, giving them 10. Sanzari, Tamara's Children Valley Hospital. We have Jimmy Teen in Paramus, who just runs crazy with a collection and putting his heart and soul with his team. We have Pat Casey in Orangeburg, over the border, had families that were in need. Brian Scott, Glen Rock, he's so happy to be a part of it. He comes in like with the lights and sirens decorated with like a military type vehicle that, like he's coming and rolling in hot, along with a guy like Michael Bryan for Fairlawn. These guys just continue to make this what it is, successful. And the final words are, you get a team like that, it's going to be a success. And that's what it's about. It's teamwork, and not focusing on just one person, one agency. It's teamwork and making a difference, and just do it. And any questions, please reach out. Even if you don't want anything to do, but you're thinking of it, I'll have my contact information. We'll help you out to set you guys on. But we would love to have everybody, on the team. And it's fun. It's still going to be your drive, but you're going to be a part of a party atmosphere if the weather holds up, and if not, it's going to be a work event. Either way, it's successful so long as we make a difference in these families.
Couldn't have concluded any better. So basically, this podcast is going to sum it all up. You said it so eloquently, and there's no doubt in my mind that you're not going to get 1, 2, 3. There's no way to even quantify how much bigger this is going to grow as a result of this, and that's all it's about. We're getting the word out, we're spreading the message, and you can't go wrong when you're spreading the message of good people doing good things.
Well, thank you. God bless you, and God bless the men and women out there, and stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, Don. The outro is brought to you by the New Jersey State PBA-owned Blue Guardian Insurance Agency, your trusted partner for all your insurance needs. Visit www.pbainsure.com. Just a friendly reminder that we will share links to new episodes on the official New Jersey State PBA Facebook and Instagram pages, which will also contain information about how to listen on the New Jersey State PBA website. We kindly ask that you share these posts on personal social media channels and any local or county pages you may administer to help get our word out and grow our reach. Thank you for listening. Be safe always, and we will talk to you soon.